Welcome to the interview series at the 212 Attention Panel. Tell them who you are.
Brendan Ripp, CEO of Pushly.
Fantastic. And tell us a little bit about Pushly before we get in.
Pushly is a web and native app push platform that is allowing brands to create one-on-one owned relationships with their audiences.
Fantastic. We're here talking about attention. So what does attention mean to you in the context of advertising?
I think that the definition of attention keeps changing depending on what sort of cycle we're going through and what the shock to our system is. As AI is kind of infiltrating now everything that we do across, planning, buying, consumption, etc. I think attention is sort of the new algorithm. I think attention is the new algorithm for our business that's not just the data, and that it needs to be earned and not bought. Where before I think people bought attention, and now I think brands and publishers now need to really have that one-to-one connection with the customer, not rent their audience from a social or a search platform. And if they do that, then that's how they win.
I like that. We're going to go kind of off script here. To me, this sounds like we're entering value exchange territory. Mm-hmm. Is that what we're talking about? A brand and consumer exchanging value through technology?
For sure. I mean, if you think about a movie theater, if you show a movie in a movie theater, but you don't charge admission, sure, you have great attention, but your shareholders aren't going to be that happy with you. And so I think what we're trying to do at Pushly is, how do you merge that need and desire for attention, time spent, engagement, et cetera, but then also following through to an action that brand wants them to do next. And movie theater, obviously, it's to sell you a movie theater ticket as well as popcorn and soda and nachos with that disgusting cheese. But in the media space, it's how do you get them to convert and take action and then do it over and over and over again.
Got it. It's not butter at the theater, and it's probably not cheese either. Just my hunch. So let's sort of pull it back. You talked a little bit about movie theaters and content. Like, in the context of you growing up or your early adolescence, was there an ad where you can share that really grabbed your attention for the first time and you felt the power of that?
I think my answer will date me a little bit, but I've got enough gray hair at this point to be dated. But back then, it was print campaigns that you tore out of the magazine, and if they felt emotional enough to you, you put them on your wall, and that was your way of surrounding yourself with a brand that you thought was important and interesting to you. And if I had to think about the two, it was definitely all of the Nike Just Do It campaigns. I was obsessed with sports, and then followed by the Milk Mustache campaign. And I just thought both of those were absolutely brilliant.
I like that. For me, it was the Absolute Vodka campaigns. Absolutely. Not only did I take those off the back page of, I think, Interview magazine maybe, but I actually collected the bottles and filled them with colored water or sand or marbles in my bedroom. I kind of wonder what my parents thought.
Quick question. Did you know what the brief was to create the Absolute Bottle campaign?
I don't, but let's get it.
The brief was everything comes full circle. I started my career at WPP, and here we are. And what I learned in the training program at J. Walter Thompson right out of college was the brief for the Absolute Bottle campaign was that the product has to be at least 80% of the page, and the headline cannot be more than 2 words.
Nailed it.
And you'd think, that you'd say, oh, how could I create one of the greatest ad campaigns in history? But the reality is sometimes the tighter brief actually leads you to award-winning work.
I think we'd file that under less is more.
Exactly right.
And shout out to Michel Roux. He was probably the guy who charged JWT with that mission. He was a savvy marketer of very few equals. So let's pick it up. Let's pick up the pace. Where are we in the journey of attention? It's sort of recent input for planning and optimization and measurement. Where are we on that journey? Are we doing okay? Do we have a lot more to go?
I think attention is going to be one of those things that, as media evolves, we'll always be in search of. I don't think it's a finish line that we'll ever actually cross. I feel like there will always be something new, whether on the delivery platform, content side, and or the research that goes along with it. In addition to my role at Pushly, I also sit on the advisory board for Adelaide, and they're doing a lot of great work and actually getting agencies and brands to start to trade on attention. And I think when you've, how does Pushly then fit in? Pushly then takes that initial attention and then actually drives the outcomes that the publisher or brand is looking for.
Love it. Australia, always ahead of the curve. They were the first people ingesting exposure files from video. Australia, always, always, always. Let's wrap it up.
Yep.
You've given us a perfect segue by sharing where you think we are on the journey. What's the prediction for where this goes from here?
I think that AI search is going to continue to eat away share at traditional search, if you will. And I even noticed and had a LinkedIn post a couple weeks ago that even Google is now running paid advertising campaigns to use their AI model instead of their traditional search model. And the fact that, you know, I go in and out of publishers for a living, and a majority of them are seeing already a 20 to 40% drop in search referral traffic. I think that number is going to continue to grow. I think when you hear, you know, Neil and the folks at People Inc. think about a world at Google Zero, where 0% of your traffic is coming from what was traditional search. When I first heard that, I thought maybe he was being a little aggressive. But the more and more I see the data and what's happening and what consumer behaviors are, I think that the brands that have the most direct one-on-one connections and relationships with their customers are going to be the ones that win, and the ones that continue to rent their audience from the platforms are the ones that, you know, in 5, 6, 7 years' time are going to be having a really difficult time to monetize a traditional website.
Ending where we started, I kind of like that it came full circle. Also, soothsayer Neil Vogel getting a shout out is always nice.
Happy customer.
He's a fantastic human indeed.
Great guy.
Also, Google AI mode, sponsorable perhaps. I don't know. Let's see. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on the panel tonight.
It's amazing to finally meet the legend. So thank you.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate it.